While the U.S. spends close to $700 billion on defense annually, the question has to be asked, is this investment going to lead to more peace and security for Americans and people around the world?
We've spent nearly $6 trillion in combating violent extremism around the world as a country. And how are we doing? What are the results? Today, there are more people displaced, there are more instances of terrorism and violence, and there is less stability in the world. So this is just a rough summary. A military-led, Department of Defense-led counterterrorism, counter-violence strategy, largely disconnected from our diplomacy and development strategies, are not successful so far. We are frankly playing whack-a-mole, and there are more moles than we can whack.
While national defense will always be important, a new complementary approach is emerging based on conflict prevention. You see, much of the world is conflict fragile. That means that the risk of violence and even war is high in many countries. Yet these risks are not limited by geography, and in a global world tend to spread insecurity to other countries too. But what if there were a way to reduce violent conflict? What if we could save billions of dollars and millions of lives at the same time? This is the idea behind the Global Fragility Act of 2019.
The Global Fragility Act is a major step forward in what we see as an absolute imperative to reorient U.S. national security towards prevention as the tool of first resort in addressing state fragility. I'm happy to mention a country-specific example, Somalia, which I think for many Americans, they might only have the memories of Black Hawk Down and consider Somalia to be, a country, racked by conflict. But in fact, we have seen peacebuilding efforts focused on youth education, on civic engagement, on participation in governance and dialogue with government, reduce young Somalis' propensity to take part in political violence by 50%.
The Global Fragility Act aims to reorient some U.S. efforts and resources toward conflict prevention. Conflict prevention, on the other hand, can save billions, reduce risks to U.S. soldiers, reduce suffering globally, and bring more security to Americans. And unlike many parts of Washington, this act is bipartisan. I'm Sophia Songhai, reporting for Peace News Network.